Hello and welcome. I'm Ijoma Onyato. Tonight, Nigerian military bars journalists from covering the court-martial of two army generals sitting to be held behind closed doors. Former Aviation Minister Femi Fani-Kayode submits himself to the EFCC, spends all day with the agency over allegations of money laundering. First female Edo Speaker Elizabeth Ativie is sworn in, promises to run an open-door policy. And acting Speaker of Brazil's lower house annuls the impeachment process against Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff.
On Business News tonight, Central Bank assures of strong financial system following recent arrests of some bank officials by the EFCC.
On Sports News tonight, CAF fined Nigeria $5,000 for a crowded stadium during Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Egypt.
We begin tonight with Nigerian journalists who have been barred from covering the proceedings of the trial of two major generals being court-martialed in Abuja, the nation's capital. The trial of a former Chief of Army Transportation and Innovation Center, Major General Ibrahim Sani, and the former commander of 68 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital, Yaba, Major General Patrick Falola, had continued on Monday without the media covering it. The spokesman of Mogadishu Cantonment, Abuja, where the trial is taking place, Colonel Ali Yusuf, said reporters were not allowed to cover the trial to avoid jeopardizing the Army's operations. The Nigerian Army last Thursday inaugurated a court-martial to try the two top military officers for alleged violation of service discipline. Now, the former Minister of Aviation, Chief Femi Fani-Kayode, is currently being grilled at the EFCC headquarters in Abuja. He spent almost the whole day there, and he's being questioned over alleged criminal conspiracy, fraud, money laundering involving Joint Trust Dimension Limited, in which he featured prominently. Chief Fani-Kayode had raised an alarm on Friday over the presence of EFCC operatives in his Abuja residence, which lasted about 6 hours. Feelers are that it may not have been unconnected with the arms gate involving the office of the former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, which has indicted several top officials of the past administration. Now, the fight against corruption in Nigeria and other African countries appears to be waged on all fronts, and the role of auditors has come into focus at a meeting in Abuja. The Forum of African Auditors is seeking the cooperation of African governments to enable its members perform their roles without interference. Speaking at the event, Nigeria's Auditor General, Mr. Samuel Ukura, said the move will assist them in achieving transparency in the public sector, accounting and curbing corruption.
Representatives of 23 African countries are here gathered to discuss how to ensure that public sector audit translates to the provision of basic social amenities for the people. To achieve this, some members of the African Auditors Forum are asking for financial and administrative independence.
Challenges facing size and public sector audit have no national limitations. Size across the world are facing various challenges, among which are their independence, encompassing financial as well as administrative independence. On this aspect, Nigeria has faces serious issues of human resources and financial independence in the absence of a viable audit bill.
While governments at all levels have roles to play in ensuring good governance, some government officials believe that corruption thrives where auditors fail in their professional duties.
The Office of the Auditor General is not empowered to take very strong punitive measures. We want to tighten that. We're talking about anti-corruption today, and I think that without proper punishment, it will be difficult for the anti-corruption war to be successful. So we're trying to tighten all the nozzles. So for those who are found to be corrupt, we will not be in need of punishment for them.
I always say that when these things happen, if it is brought to my attention, we take it to the highest height. We have had situations where these things have come to my attention in my office, and staff have been suspended, and where they have been found guilty, staff have been dismissed. So yes, these things do happen, but if no concrete information is brought to the attention of the leaders, then of course nothing will happen.
Over the next few days, these experts will be deliberating on how to improve transparency and accountability, especially in the public sector. Many will be watching to see if decisions reached here will translate to improved auditing processes in Africa.
Human rights activist and senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Femi Falana, has criticized the Nigerian army over its call to Nigerians to maintain law and order. According to Mr. Falana, it's unconstitutional for the Nigerian army to make the call under a democratic dispensation, as only the Nigerian police is saddled with such responsibility. Mr. Falana was a guest on our breakfast program, Sunrise Daily.
Military as an institution has no business whatsoever in the maintenance of internal security in our country.
But we've seen lately...
No. Please, it is very illegal and unconstitutional for the Chief of Army Staff or the Chief of Defense Staff to be threatening civilians in our country. We're not under a military dictatorship, by the way. It is the business of the police to maintain law and order in our country. It is only when... Because the role of the military, armed forces under the Constitution, Section 217, right, is to protect the territorial integrity of the country. And, you defend the country against external aggression. But you don't ask a soldier to go and monitor a polling booth or to go and arrest a criminal suspect. The Nigerian army that killed and buried secretly the dead bodies of 347 people in December last year can have the temerity, right, to be telling us and teaching us how to protect life and property in Enugu State. Furthermore, in the particular instance, in the case of the attack on Ukpabinimbo community in Enugu State, again we have all forgotten the fact that the community elected the governor of that state, and this is already in the public domain. The governor summoned a meeting of the Security Council in that state and gave specific instructions that that community be protected. So you had information on the impending attack. The Commissioner of Police addressed a press conference and dismissed the whole thing as a rumor and asked everybody to go about his or her normal duty. Again, the attack took place, people were killed, properties were destroyed. What has the government done? You have merely transferred the Commissioner of Police to another state.
Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Femi Falana. Let's stay with security matters. And 5 policemen, including a deputy superintendent of police, have been killed by unknown gunmen in Rivers State. The policemen were ambushed by their assailants in Ahoda, West Local Government area of Rivers State, along the East-West Road. The victims were returning from Yobe State, where they were on special duty and were on their way back to Yenagoa, the Bayelsa State capital, when they were attacked. The State Police Public Relations Officer, Mr. Ahmad Muhammad, who confirmed the incident, described the development as unfortunate. And here in Lagos, the police command has announced the arrest of Lekan Shonde, the man who allegedly killed his wife in the Egbeda area of the state. According to the spokesman of the command, Dolapo Badmos, Mr. Shonde, who had been on the run since Thursday night, was traced to a location in Ikeja on Saturday before his arrest on Monday. She said he'll be transferred to the State Department of Criminal Investigation for further investigations into the case. The deceased Ronke Shonde had 2 children, aged 4 and 6. And a group of Nigerians under the aegis of the Ohaneze Ndibo South Africa has staged a protest at the Nigerian High Commission in Pretoria for what they described as the wanton killing of Igbos by cattle herdsmen. They handed over a written protest to the acting High Commissioner, Ambassador Martins Kobam, for onward transmission to the President. Our South Africa Bureau Chief Betty Dibia was there and now reports.
Their initial request for a group sit-down protest inside the premises of the High Commission was declined.
You can picket outside, but not inside the nation. Please consult among yourself. You cannot picket inside.
We want the world to hear, want to sit down here. We came out here because we are not afraid of our own. We are here because it concerns everybody in Nigeria.
Picking representatives to hand over their protest letter was hard as well. Over 1 hour later, problem solved. They got their sit-down protest.
I assure you that to get to the administration.
And at the heart of the protest is this.
We who are in diaspora, that we are not happy of what is happening to our people back home.
These Fulani henchmen, we've known them since we were born. They don't carry arms, they carry whip and stick to rear their cattle. We've had good relationship with them over time. But these people who now carry AK-47 and machete are not Fulani henchmen.
Even a rumored proposed grazing bill got the knock from the group.
We, unequivocally, unanimously, in its entirety and ramifications, reject that bill of granting a particular trade, a particular land in every state of the Federation to do grazing. No, it is never done before. The farmers should go to any state they like, buy a farm, and keep their animals there, and that's how it's done all over the world.
The group has vowed to stay on with their campaign till they get the ears of the president, to whom they say, Mr. President, all lives in Nigeria matter and must be protected. From the Nigerian High Commission in Pretoria, South Africa, Betsy Dibia, Channels Television News.
In part 2, after the break, we'll be taking a look at the Ogun Investment Summit. I'll be joined by the Executive Governor of Ogun State, Ibikunle Amosun, to join us again.